Curry, Carlos Santos fight. And Gil, what are your thoughts this week? We had to be impressed with Santos in the gym. We know, on the other hand, that Donald Curry, a tremendously talented fighter, trying to prove that he's on his way into the top of the middleweight picture.
Well, Tim, Carlos Santos is a former champion. We saw a real solid pro in the gymnasium. He's in excellent condition. He's a southpaw. I think his style can bother Donald Curry.
Well, Santos, as we said, has looked very good all week in the gym, and he and his camp are very confident. At the training session the other day, we spoke to his trainer, Felix Pintor, to find out what Santos is thinking.
My father thinks about Donald Curry, that Donald Curry was a welterweight fighter, a good fighter, and he has to prove himself as a junior middleweight fighter. And he has to prove a lot to Carlos Santos in that division, which is Carlos is going to be the world champion with one or another.
Does he think he can knock Donald Curry out?
The way I see the fight, Carlos will knock Donald Curry out in some round in the fight. But why don't we ask Carlos?
Let's do that.
Carlos, ven acá. ¿Quién va a ganar esa pelea?
Donald Curry by knockout 5 rounds.
Well, Donald Curry obviously feels he's capable against this 154-pounder, and we'll find out what he had to say about his strategy and tactics for the fight.
I look to press the fight, hope that we can get in trading wars where I can land, look for the big home run. I'm going to look to press the fight from the opening bell.
Gil, Donald Curry seems to feel that even though he had some difficulty making the weight for this fight, that he is comfortable at this weight. Is that your feeling as well?
Tim, you're never comfortable when you have to struggle to make weight. That could be another factor in the fight.
Is he going to be a middleweight, and how good can he be?
He definitely is a middleweight. If he has trouble making the junior middleweight limit, he's a full-fledged middleweight.
Well, let's see how he does against Carlos Santos here this afternoon as he defends his USBA crown. Donald Curry and Carlos Santos when we return after these words. We're ready for our Curry-Santos fight. Let's go up to Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Caesar's Palace. This is the main event of the afternoon. The judges for this bout are Bill Graham, Patricia Jarman, and Jerry Moss. The referee is Carlos Padilla. And now let's get ready to rumble. This bout is for the USBA Junior Middleweight Championship, scheduled for 12 rounds. Introducing first, in the red corner, wearing the red trunks, fighting out of San Juan, Puerto Rico, weighing in at an even 153 pounds with a professional record of 34 wins, 3 losses, and 24 KOs. He's the former junior middleweight champion of the world and currently ranked #1 by the USBA. Introducing the challenger, Carlos Santos. And in the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with white trim, fighting out of Fort Worth, Texas. He weighed in also at an even 153 pounds. His professional record, 26 victories, only 1 defeat. He has 20 KOs, and he's the former welterweight champion of the world. He's the current USBA Junior Middleweight Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lone Star Cobra, Donald Curry.
Carlos Padilla will be the referee for this bout, and the judges all from Las Vegas, Bill Graham, Pat Jarman, and Jerry Moss, and scoring on the 10-point must system in effect. Donald Curry had some difficulty, as Gil said, getting down to this 154-pound limit, although as he has continued to say, he just feels real good at this weight. He does acknowledge that he really only wants maybe one more fight at this weight, a chance at a world title, and then he would like to be a full-fledged middleweight because he walks around well over 160. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape as Curry came in at 153, as did Carlos Santos. And Santos, at 31 years of age, just slightly taller than Donald Curry. Carlos Santos in the red trunks and Donald Curry in white. Curry 26-1 with 20 knockouts. And Carlos Carlos Santos, 34-3 with 24 KOs, but showing more power in recent fights than early in his career. And Gil, I think from you what we need to hear is the fact that he's a southpaw. Is Curry solid against southpaws or suspect?
Well, Tim, we only saw him box one southpaw, and he knocked him out in the second round, nailed him with a good punch, but he was having trouble. As funny as it sounds, even though the fight only went 2 rounds.
I recall that fight against Rodriguez in Fort Worth in the first round. Curry did have considerable difficulty, but one punch turned it around in round 2.
Santos is making a mistake by reaching in, Tim. He should start using his legs and his foot speed.
The crowd still filtering in to see this championship bout on this very big weekend of boxing at Caesars Palace. The inclement weather overnight and this morning, it's been a late arriving crowd, but they want to see Curry.
Tim, Santos is surprising. He's punching with Curry.
Well, this is what he was doing in the gym with his sparring partners. A very aggressive, flat-footed style, banging away.
But his sparring partner wasn't Donald Curry.
No, that's for sure. Solid right. Solid right from Curry to the chest. The challenger Santos. Now Curry backing up Santos, has him in trouble. I think it was that right hand that had rocked him earlier. Now Santos seems to have his legs back, and a good right hand by Curry, finding the opening down the middle.
Just is not moving. He's staying right in front of Curry.
Just managed to tag Curry with a right, but he paid for it with a combination in return.
Tim, he's not going to out-punch Donald Curry. He's going to have to outmaneuver him.
Curry sharpshooting now, another good combination score. Santos picked up that counter right the last split second.
Tim, by reaching, he's leaving himself wide open. He should try to make his moves off Curry's moves.
Solid left jab from Curry. Final seconds of round 1. Carlos Santos, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Donald Curry from Fort Worth, Texas. Tim Ryan with Gil Clancy. Round 2 scheduled for 12. USBA Junior Middleweight Championship at stake. The champion Donald Curry from Fort Worth in white. The challenger, former world champion, IBF version, Carlos Santos in red.
Tim, in Santos' corner, they told him to throw punches, be aggressive. They didn't mention boxing. That's what he's doing.
Worked to the body there of Donald Curry in that opening flurry, and had been effective during the weekend training, but now Curry comes alive for the flurry.
Can't understand this strategy from Carlos Santos. Trying to out-punch a puncher.
A warning from Carlos Padilla to both boxers to watch their heads. Mentioned the judges all being from Las Vegas. I'd like to correct Jerry Maltz is from the state of Arizona, one of the 3 judges on the program in Pat Jarman. That is Patricia Jarman, we should point out, female judge here in Las Vegas. And the heads did clash just as we made that comment. Donald Curry reached up to see if there was any blood. With his right eye, but apparently nothing opened up. And again, Santos in close with his head. And he gets a severe warning this time from Padilla, and it may cost him soon if it happens again.
Then the last fight that Donald Curry had, they disqualified his opponent, the buddy. Now it's happening again. Very strange.
Montgomery, yeah, in round 5 of that fight. Under a minute to go, we're in round 2. Solid left to the head of the challenger, but Santos digs back to the body.
Tim, that left to the head was set up by a pretty good body shot. Curry's digging to the body.
Combination scored by Curry, left and a right.
Good left hand by Santos, Tim. There went Santos' head again.
Both fighters
He
landing.
wobbled him, Tim. Santos was wobbled. Good left hook.
Round number 3 of the scheduled 12-round United States Championship Junior Middleweight Division, 154 pounds. Donald Curry in white. The champion, Santos in red.
Santos switched momentarily, Tim. Switched to the orthodox style. He's back fighting southpaw again.
Quite an exchange in the final seconds of the second round. Both fighters landing, and we thought Curry getting the best of it with one of his shots.
Santos gave a good account of himself, though, Tim, in that exchange. Another good right hook by Santos.
Definitely willing to bang with Curry.
This is a war right now, Tim.
Santos said that he thought Curry would not be as strong. He's coming up to the weight. He didn't accept the fact that, as Donald said, he's now naturally comfortable at this weight. In fact, even at 160 pounds. Santos just didn't seem to buy that. He's been a junior middleweight.
Santos has very, very good legs, Tim. Moves very, very quickly when he uses them.
Oh, solid right by Curry. Right down the pipe.
Santos is countering pretty good with a straight left hand off Curry's punches.
Seems to be timing a little better, doesn't he, Gil, as this fight's gone into the third round?
Well, he's got his rhythm, Tim. I'm just surprised he's staying right in front of Curry the way he is.
He just took a right hand.
He's banging back
He
himself.
bangs right back every time. Under a minute to go, round 3. Both fighters missing badly there.
Well, there was Santos reaching again. A little too anxious. Thing to do is make Curry miss and then counter. And he is a good counterpuncher, Santos. Oh, boy, those heads are banging together pretty good right now.
Sneak right hand lead by Curry landed.
Santos has been stopped once, Tim, but that was back in 1978, 9 years ago. He's got a pretty good chin, very good chin.
Well, that was fairly early in his career. Round number 4, Tim Ryan and Gil Clancy, and Carlos Santos off the stool quickly. He's eager.
Carlos Santos was complaining to his cornerman about something. I don't know what's bothering him, but he was shaking his head and complaining.
Just underway in this 4th round of the USBA Junior Middleweight Championship. Donald Curry in white, Carlos Santos in red. Curry forcing the issue. He's got Santos kicking the corner, but he fights his way out of there. Trying to look
Burying those body shots, Tim.
People take their toll, but every time it looks like he's starting to really get Santos in position, Santos wails right back.
Santos should be using those legs and moving to his right, staying outside of Curry's leg. He just isn't doing it. He's walking right into Curry's punches. There's the way he should move. To his right.
We're round number 4. Donald Curry and Carlos Santos, and apparently a little momentary loss of audio. We apologize for that.
Both fighters landing solid punches, Tim.
Right in the middle of the ring, letting it fly. Temperature has really increased here as we had early morning cool weather and rainy, wet weather overnight into the morning. It was quite breezy, but now the fighters are sweating freely in there.
You see that head, Tim?
Carlos, it almost looked like he deliberately missed the left hand and brought his head in behind it.
Nice combination by Santos. And there was the head again. There they go again.
And this time you could see Curry just walk away in disgust, and there will be a point taken away by Carlos Padilla from Carlos Santos.
Tim, isn't this strange? Exactly the same thing that happened to Curry in the Montgomery fight.
That fight was stopped. Montgomery disqualified in Curry's first fight as a full-fledged junior middleweight. Under the 30-second mark. Round 4. Now Curry reaching in. Solid right hand by Santos to the ear of Curry.
Santos is surprisingly with his aggressiveness. He'd do much better if he tried to be a little bit more cute. There he got nailed again, but he's nailing Curry.
Final seconds of the 4th round.
Tim, those heads are clashing all the time. I'm surprised that nobody's busted up as yet. There they are again.
At the end of round number 4, the fact that Santos seems to be so willing to stick his head in there that way, you would think that Curry would be perhaps trying to pull away from him a little bit more, but he's been staying in there saying, well, I can use my head too.
That's right, Tim. They look like two billy goats. If Curry took a skip back that half step and pulled some good combinations, he'd be nailing Santos all the time.
We'll go back and take a look at the butt that caused Carlos Padilla to take a point away. Action from the 4th round.
Oh, look at that head, Tim. My goodness gracious.
So Carlos Padilla, who had warned him earlier, has taken a point away from Carlos Santos. This fight scheduled for 12 rounds, and clearly you can't afford to give away points for illegalities when you're in against the likes of Donald Curry. But I think your point that Santos is as aggressive as he is, Gil, is very important here because he made it quite clear that he didn't have the respect for Curry as a junior middleweight that he did as a welterweight, and he felt he could outstrength him.
Tim, yes, and now he switched around. He's boxing orthodox style, and you're right. He felt that Curry was only a welterweight. That's what he told us. He said that with disdain. He's only a little welterweight. But Curry is a lot more than a little welterweight, Tim. Very, very good puncher. Had trouble making the junior middleweight limit. He's a big guy.
We're in round number 5, scheduled for 12. Kid Ryan with Joe Clancy.
Why would Santos box orthodox style against a good puncher like Donald Curry? Those kind of things worry me.
Just took a nice head-snapping jab from Curry, working. Now he switches back to his natural stance for him, the southpaw side. Bright sunny skies now here in Las Vegas. Temperature is really heated up. And that makes everybody feel better about Monday night. Hagler Leonard here at Caesars Palace.
Good straight left by Santos, Tim. Caught Curry coming out. Oh, Tim, they're banging heads time after time. It's amazing that nobody's cut. There goes the head again.
Now here comes Padilla, may take another point away. Let's see. Yes, he does. Second point taken away, and Akbar Muhammad, the business manager of Donald Curry, leapt to his feet when that contact was made. He is angry and upset, perhaps seeing the same circumstances of the Montgomery fights. One thing for your fighter to win, but God forbid that he gets cut in the process when it's totally unnecessary.
Curry nailed him with a couple of good punches, Tim, and he used that old Latin trick. He smiled at Curry, but believe me, when they smile, they're hurt.
Now Curry, no doubt, letting his anger come out in his gloves here. Minute to go, round number 5.
Tim, do you think that's anything with Curry's style that makes these guys butt him? I mean, it's very, very strange that 2 fights in a row,
No,
having a big problem with butts.
Except that Donald does seem willing to lean in and keep his head in the contact range. He doesn't move it very much.
Oh,
now that was obvious.
hiding.
Now Santos, they're going to DQ him, I think. That's it, they have. Well, can you imagine this? In the 5th round, as it happened in the last fight, and that one was clearly an obvious attempt on the part of Santos to score with his head. Well, he did, and it cost him the fight.
Tim, the only thing I can figure, Curry must be hurting these guys a lot more than it looks like, and they're looking for any way to get out of there. It looked like he wanted to get out of there, and that was his easiest way out.
Well, but he wasn't doing that badly in the fight, Gil. I mean, it wasn't that he was taking tremendous punishment. I mean, sure, he had some good shots to the body and head, but he was not a fighter in trouble. I don't know that I would accept that explanation. I can't come up with an answer, but it was clearly an obvious attempt to butt. We'll show on videotape now as the discussion goes on in the ring. Let's look at the finish again. I mean, it's just an absolute lunge. You could see that, as you might say, Curry was open for the headbutt, and Santos went after it. I mean, that is really a disgusting display. And fortunately for Curry, I don't believe any skin opened up there. He did not suffer a cut that we can see, but we'll check on it.
Tim, the only thing you can say for this fight is it set boxing history. I'm sure that no other fighter ever won 2 fights in a row by the opponent being disqualified for a headbutt, and both times in the 5th round.
I think you're on absolutely safe ground, Gil. I won't even bother going to the record book to check that out.
Do you know you'll be in the Guinness Book of Records now, Tim?
Well, all right. We have more boxing action coming for you following a message or two and an interview with us with a quick reminder that tomorrow on the NBA, Boston and Philadelphia meet at 1 o'clock Eastern time, and that will be Dr. J's last regular season game. Should be pretty dramatic. And then the Lakers and Denver, 3:30 Eastern time. That's tomorrow, NBA action here on CBS Sports. Well, let's get to Donald Curry, who has won 2 fights in a row under very strange circumstances. What is it about you, Donald, that these guys seem to want to take your head off with theirs?
I don't know. I was controlling the fight, and it was pretty much my fault making my head available for him to butt. And I guess I got to go back and work on that in the gym. But I wasn't really satisfied with the headbutt. It irritated me.
Well, it's not a satisfying way for you to win. I'm sure you'd like to go out, do your thing, win the fight cleanly, not have 2 DQs in a row.
I know it. It's frustrating me.
Sure.
That's what it's doing, and I was very disappointed in Santos for using the head.
Well, and I can see that you did indeed get a cut. I wasn't sure, and there is a cut over your right eye, and obviously that delays your progress in the gym and so on, and it's got to be very disappointing.
Oh, yeah, it is very disappointing when you get cut and you've never been cut before, and you want to go back and, you know, look for another fight in July, now have to wait.
Donald, we're going to show you that the final one, because he had been warned several times, but he had already taken a point away. This is the last one, and you did make a point, and I made it also, that one of the things is that your head was there to be butted. Now,
yeah.
A fighter shouldn't have to worry about having another guy go right at him like that, but it's interesting that you also realized that you weren't moving your head enough.
Well, yeah, that was the point. You know, I was controlling the fight, and once I controlled the fight, I started, you know, trying to dig to the body, and I made my head available for him to butt.
All right, now we talked to you last week about, you know, kind of where you are in this picture. You've got the win now. Do you want to stay as a junior middleweight to win a title, or are you thinking about moving up to the middleweight ranks immediately, or will you wait till Monday night?
Wait till Monday night. I would like to fight the winner of the Leonard and Hagler fight, but whatever, I'll fight anybody.
So you would consider then, if you don't get that immediately, that you would try it for a 154-pound world title?
Yes, that's what I'm looking at. I was hoping to fight maybe in July, but now with that, but I really don't know.
Okay, well, good luck to you, Donald. You were clearly the better man, and we feel badly about the way it ended for you, and we'll look forward to seeing you in real action again soon.
Okay, thank you, Tim.
Okay, Donald Curry. Now, let's bring in, if we can, Lenny DeJesus and Carlos Santos. If you can just maybe give us an explanation. Carlos, you can see, he started to swell up around the right eye. He does not look happy, Lenny, but it's clear there's no other way to say this. He deliberately tried to butt Donald Curry, if not in the earlier ones, certainly on the last one. Can you ask him why he chose this tactic?
Dicen, ¿por qué tú usaste la táctica esa de entrar así de la manera que estaba entrando? Porque, ¿qué fue la...?
No sé, siempre yo lo hago. Lo que pasa es que él es listo y como sabe que yo entro así, él mete la cabeza y parece que fue un cabezazo. Porque él parece que no le gusta llegar a la distancia.
Well, Carlos says that being the style that Carlos has, he always goes in like that. Donald Curry comes in and his head was there and he came in and hit him a couple times, but it wasn't intentional. because Carlos Santos is a better fighter than what you saw today, you know. He said that this is the way he fight. He didn't want to go the distance. Simple as that. They're protecting him.
Well, I mean, that they were protecting Donald Curry, that's what he's saying?
Yes.
Well, but it was quite clear that the last one, sure, his head was there, but I think everybody would agree that it was an intentional move by Carlos on the head of Curry.
Dice que el último cantazo que le diste fue intencional, tú sabes.
Sí, pero que él me dio con todo. Y no me hizo
El de la cabeza, tú sabes, el último tiro que tiró de la cabeza.
Bueno, yo siempre entro así en parte, ¿sabes? Si él entra de frente se va a chocar.
That's his style. This is the way he always fights.
Yeah.
This is the way he always goes in.
De entrar así.
Well, we're sorry that he was disqualified because we know he's a better fighter than that. We've seen him do a better job, and it's unfortunate circumstances all around. But thank you for talking with us anyway. Carlos, better luck next time. Okay. All right. Well, that's the story here on the USBA junior middleweight bout. Carlos Santos losing by disqualification to the champion, Donald Curry. Now, we've got more boxing action that took place just a little while ago here, an important middleweight bout, Michael Nunn against Charles Campbell. And we'll be back with that in a moment. Well, we're back at Caesar's Palace and now back in our perch high atop the stadium here. And we'll have a good view from here, those of you on Monday night who are in the higher seats. But believe me, to get up here takes a little breath out of you, unless you're in good shape like Gil.
You're correct, Tim. I'm not puffing.
All right, well, we've got more boxing action coming to you right now. A fight that took place earlier here. Michael Nunn's an interesting guy. Here is